Welcome back to Mewni Mayhem on the Roundtable. I'm your host, AwestruckVox, and we got another new promo for Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and it's very Eclipsa-centric. Oh my. So let's run through this and break down what exactly is going on, and what it means for both Star and our long-awaited Queen of Darkness. Shall we begin?
This season on Star.
How did you do that and teach it to me now?
That sounds delightful.
The butterfly family's past
Did she hurt you?
I was just talking to that nice lady. That's Eclipsa.
threatens Star's future.
She abandoned her people so she could run off with a monster. You crystallized her for being in love?
The Magic High Commission and your mother think that's evil.
Call me a villainess.
2-week event starts Monday, November 6th on Disney XD on demand.
Man, oh man, they just love getting us all fired up and begging for these episodes to get here. Just a few more weeks. I seriously can't wait. And Eclipsa with her hair down? Between her and Moon, I think the Butterfly family just looks really good rocking their natural hair. Eclipsa wearing her hair like this may actually hold a level of importance, believe it or not, but we'll get to that in a bit. First, let's talk about Glossaric. This commercial actually greets us with a fan favorite character when he's abruptly catched by Eclipsa, who rubs his gem which seemingly induces a sleep-like trance onto him. Right off the bat, I'm going to assume the majority jump to the conclusion Eclipsa has done something negative to Glossaric, but I believe she's actually helping or soothing him. Let's look at the expression on Glossy's face as he's soaring. It's a somewhat blank, disturbing expression, as if his mind is empty. Now, as I pointed out in my previous breakdown of the typography trailer, where Star states something's wrong, I believe she's referring to Glossaric. My theory is that Star utilizes the remains of the spellbook to reinstate Glossaric's physical form, but as it's not the entire book, his mental state is not fully restored. This is why he's looking stranger than usual, completely absent-minded in recent promos, and as to why Star has him leashed up in the Season 3 binge promo. He's not stable nor sane, he's just sort of a loose cannon. Hell, look at his face when Eclipsa catches him. Dude looks like he barely knows how to tie his shoes, let alone the secrets of the universe. I mean, he doesn't wear shoes, but you know what I'm going for. Whatever Eclipsa's doing, I don't think it's harming Glossaric, but she isn't necessarily healing him either. I think she's just taming him, causing him to rest a little while so he won't be causing a ruckus for a bit. Glossaric did imply in Page Turner that his best relationship with a queen was Eclipsa, so that's probably what we're going to see here. Speaking of Eclipsa, Star seems to be impressed by one of her spells. The promo makes it look like her ability to calm Glossaric, but this could be purposely misleading to avoid major spoilers. I think Star wants Eclipsa to teach her, train her, and well, mentor her, which I, and many others, were rooting to happen since Eclipsa's introduction via Tapestry. Eclipsa states that proposition sounds delightful, but again, editing magic. That could be a response to something else, like Star just asking Eclipsa to show her around, or if she can stay for tea or something like that. Now, Eclipsa's hair being down may be to lure not just Star, but the audience into a false sense of security. Unless Eclipsa sought out or was anticipating Star, she was just wearing her hair down for the heck of it. It's probably something she does on her lonesome, but considering Star wears her hair down all the time, it gives us a sense of familiarity, as opposed to Moon, who up until the end of Season 2, wore her hair up all the time. In our minds, butterflies wearing their hair down can be identified as being a free spirit, being chill, laid back, and cutting loose, like Star, whereas wearing their hair up traces our minds back to order and rules, like Moon. Eclipsa's mannerisms, accompanied with her hair in the scene, leads the viewer to be more relaxed and view her as a relatable character, which would make it more devastating to Star and the audience if or when she flips the script and commits an evil act. Not one that's debatable evil, but unarguably sinister. Now, if we fast forward a few seconds, we see Star and Eclipsa standing right next to each other as Star holds Glossaric. So I assume after Eclipsa mellows him out, she passes him right over to Star. They chat a bit and share a laugh. As for where these two are, I'm assuming they're in Eclipsa's old domain, one that was separate from Mewni Castle. This is made apparent by the bucket full of dead flowers in old crumpled up Snickers wrappers, a nod to the delectable treat that she viciously consumed in Moon the Undaunted. We do know this is on Mewni, as it shares the same sky as the dimension. You can just look at the background. So it looks like she was living here at some point in her life, maybe even during her reign as queen, before turning tail for her monster bride. Later on, we see wild branches in a very dim room with cracks in the wall. That supports this idea. Plus earlier, we see Moon break down a spade-shaped door, which is also the shape of Eclipsa's cheat marks. So yeah, old stomping grounds. Moon's not alone, as she has the Magical High Commission and even some Mewni Knights by her side. They've come prepared, and we see Omnitrax's Prime snatch her up, which seemingly doesn't faze her. She's just smiling, not even bothered by her current predicament, probably because she's immensely powerful, and is just entertaining the notion of being captured once more. Moon questions if Eclipsa has harmed Star, to which Star explains they were just conversing, she's a sweet lady. Moon then breaks it to Star that she's been conversing with the Queen of Darkness. So for whatever reason, Star was oblivious to the fact that she was talking to Eclipsa, despite seeing her tapestry once before. Unless in Star's mind, someone changing their hairstyle just makes them completely unrecognizable. Who is this woman? I've never seen her before in my life. That's neither here or there, as there's also a brief scene of Star restrained to a table with EKGs on her cheek marks. I'm assuming Moon's running tests on Star to ensure Eclipsa didn't have any tricks up her sleeves in their small interactions, making sure Eclipsa did not taint or corrupt her in any way, like what happened to Moon herself when striking a deal with Eclipsa, leaving visible dark veins on her arms ever since. My bet is they won't find anything though, making Moon and the rest of the commission looking very paranoid and irrational in Star's eyes. Moon also explains her disdain towards Eclipsa, tying back to the former queen abandoning Mewni for a monster, which repulses Moon. This being a factor in Eclipsa being in prison for thousands of years ticks off Star, and how can it not? Star dated Tom, who's a demon, and has befriended many monsters throughout the series. I personally hope Moon and Bullfrog's bonding in the episode Puddle Patrol will come back into play in Moon's arc, coming to terms with Eclipsa's feelings for a monster, and that they're not so different from humans. Moon may have gotten on good terms with Bullfrog, but that doesn't mean she's fond of all monsters, which is an interesting and realistic narrative for her character arc, one that mirrors real-life racism pretty well. All that being said, I feel like this promo pulled everything from the same episode, Stranger Danger. Using what we were given from this promo and the season 3 binge promo, my assumption is that this episode opens with Star crossing paths with Eclipsa, unaware it's her, being enamored with her magical capabilities, and share a good laugh. Unfortunately, the Magical High Commission arrive, imprison Eclipsa, at least they believe they do, and Moon reveals to Star she was just spilling tea with one of Mewni's most despised rogues. They take Eclipsa to Mewni Castle, where Star is being tested on. Moon's explanation of why Eclipsa is not to be trusted doesn't bode well with Star, who rushes down to the dungeon where Eclipsa is being held captive and pushes Romulus out of the way from crystallizing her. The commission reluctantly sets Eclipsa free after arguing with Star, but warns the princess to keep her distance. Star doesn't listen. She has many questions, she doesn't know who to trust. So she returned to Eclipsa's home and faces her one-on-one, armed with her wand and everything. Eclipsa banters with Star, sharing a bit of the story of her monster lover, getting on Star's good side, where she remarks that if
The Magic High Commission and your mother think that's evil,
call me a villainess.
And I need to take the L here, because in that last promo, I was convinced that was Janice stating that in a goofy little voice, but a few commenters believed it was Eclipsa. So, shout out to you amazing people. And the episode would end shortly after, Eclipsa and Star being on good terms, but Star still being confused. The commission has built up Eclipsa to be this force of destruction, yet she's just chill, laid back, not too different from Star. I also believe Eclipsa and Star's initial bonding will be where the line from the last promo of Eclipsa saying she has control issues stems from. But as always, these are just my thoughts and I'd love to hear yours. Did we figure out the plot to Stranger Danger? Do you think Eclipsa will mentor Star? And is there more to the story than we're being led on concerning her imprisonment? Drop your responses in the comments below. Let's get a discussion going. If you want the conversation going beyond the comments, you can follow and tweet to us at Roundtable Vids, or me at AwestruckVox on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to be even more social, you can join our Discord server and download our official Amino app for iOS and Android. If you want to help us grow, consider supporting us for at least $1 on Patreon. Links to everything in the description. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like, And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, it really helps us out. Hit that bell for notifications to keep up with all things Star. I hope you have a beautiful day, and AwestruckVox signing out.